Holy cow. Yeah, this might be ugly. It's ugly up in Kansas City. Good evening, and welcome to MoHomesteading. How we doing, farm kids? We doing good? How we doing? So today, we had a very interesting day, weather-wise. It's a good day. It's a good day. First day of summer. We went from 72 degrees to what I'm showing you next. And now, all day, it's been pretty warm, but it's that, for those that live in Louisiana, Houston, or places that are very high humidity, you'll understand, hair up, ruts in the back. Because it's Fuzzy Houston Hair Day, is what I call it. So, I'll show you what the weather was, and I also want to show you a little experiment that I'm working on and what I did. So this is an experiment for, I guess, anybody, but it is to grow potatoes on your porch without too much expense. Grow any kind of plant on your porch, really. So I'll show you what I did, and then I'll show you where we are, and it is 4 days later from when I started that, because I'm pretty excited about it, mostly, even with all the rain that we've gotten in the past 4 days. So we got some hot sun. We got all the berries picked, well, most of them, before the wind and the storm hit us. I'm getting away from this tree. Alrighty, I'm going inside. See? Oh. Wow. I don't know if you can see how many's in there. That's what we got this morning. Here's where we are. It just rolled in just now. I bet he's putting the weed eater up. Ellen's like, Mom, you have an hour. About 7 minutes ago, I'm like, yeah, yeah. Oh my gosh. Wow. No. Holy cow. Yeah. My poor chickens. How long this is going to last? Like 5 hours? Oh my gosh. Wow. This is just a wow. It's like a monsoon. It's just dumping. Yep, the tomato plants will be happy. It just looks like the garden and the grass all blend together. Oh my goodness gracious. Saving my potty cat containers, and the reason why I've been saving them is they are level 2 plastic, where is it? HDPE, I don't know if that's going to come in, level 2, which is one of the safest plastics for not leaching. So I'm going to cut these down into little containers, like you could grow on your porch in your apartment or somewhere like that. And you could use other level 2, and I think it's level, I'll have to look up the other level, but I know level 2 is safe because I looked it up for sure. So I'm going to cut these down, and we're going to put some potatoes in these. Now, clear plastic probably isn't the best for potatoes, but I'm going to leave these, I'm going to leave the wrappers on and hope that that keeps some of the sunlight from getting to the potatoes, and we're just going to do an experiment. So take a recyclable plastic container, stick a potato in it, and we're going to see what happens. I've cut off the tops of these Tidy Cat containers, and I'm using this. I'm going to fill these about this far. I decided I'm going to put one tomato plant because this soil is pretty rich and it's been cooking, so it's got kind of an odor to it, so it makes me think that there's a few more ingredients in there now. It's either going to kill it or make it better. And then I have a bag of peat moss. I'm going to mix some peat moss in there too to make it a little looser. Do 3 potato plants and 1 tomato plant, probably an Amish paste. Talk about in almost all my videos so far, T-posts. Well, this is a T-post driver. It's not mine, it's my daughter's. I borrowed it because I don't have one to put some things in the garden. But it's closed on one end, opened on the other. You stick it over the top of the T-post to drive it into the ground. Makes it so much easier. You have no idea. So I have to give that back. I shouldn't still have that. So I'm going to put some of this peat moss that I have into that, mix that all together, and do some planting. I'm going to put some of that down in these too. It's for organic gardening. It says exclusive biotone. Let's see what it has in it. I don't even remember. No. 3 tablespoons of garden tone into the soil when planting. So we'll try that. Container. I have half pot organic potting soil, half peat moss, 3 tablespoons of the biotine, the organic fertilizer I just had on the video, and forgot one thing. Need to drill holes. So I'm going to drill some holes around, probably around the middle, not in the bottom, because these are going to be sitting up here or moving onto grass. So I'm going to drill a few holes to let excess water out, and then we'll plant. So it'll be half peat moss, half potting soil, 3 potatoes, 1 tomato. I'm going to use, I love Makita by the way, not promoting or anything, I just like it. I'm going to use a 1/8. Don't know if that's too big, but now it's all an experiment. Here. So I'm just putting 5 holes on each side. Bottom, just so water in the bottom, it's not just soaking it and it'll drain out. So I did, see if I can see it. I just did 5 holes on each side in the little section right there. I might have to put some more dirt in this. I'm going to mix this all together, but Ross has extra dirt. Not all of it, but I could steal a little just so it has some from the ground here. I think I'll steal some. I'm gonna go steal some dirt. If there were worms and stuff in it, that'd be even better. So that's 4 scoops. Oh, there's a worm! See, what was I saying? I love this post he uses. What's that called again, babe?
Deacon bar.
Deacon bar. The tools. Oh my goodness. Wow, that's right next to the house too. That's pretty thick. Okay, 4 more scoops and then I'm out of your dirt. So clay. Our dirt is so clay. Oh, worm. Worm. How you doing, Lola? Yeah, I'm fine. I'm chasing bees. Doing something. Chasing something. Okay, so I'm going to mix all this up. You can see how much clay that is. It's just straight clay. So my garden's going to take a long time to get to where it's absolutely fruitful. But as an artist, it's exciting, but because I can probably process it and use it to make bowls and cups and plates and sculptures and things like that. But for gardening, yeah, Pulled all the bottom leaves off. Am I filming it? Oh, there we go. This is the root ball, and then the little square, root square. And I'm going to leave these at the top. Just going to do this little bottom part and plant it all the way in, all the way down. So if you're doing this as an experiment and you see this video in the future, you know, this is what you do with a tomato plant. You want as much stalk as you can get. So I might put a little bamboo stake in there with it just to keep it safe. Oh, I should have put an egg in the bottom. Shoot. You know what? I'm going to put an egg in the bottom of that. Because all the plants that actually survived the rain for me, the tomato plants, were the ones that I actually put an egg in the bottom. I'm going to put this egg underneath this and just pop it, crack it just a little bit. And seriously, most of the tomato plants that are doing really well in my garden, because we've had so much rain and everything, were the ones that I put an egg under. So I'm going to go by this method. I think it does something for the plants that we don't really know, but I'm going to do it anyway. I have potatoes that have been, aren't these crazy? Look, they're crazy. That have been in a dark spot in my kitchen. That's it. It's just at the bottom shelf of a little shelf that I have. And I didn't plant earlier in the year, which most people plant at St. Patrick's Day here, because one, my soil is way too clay and I haven't been super successful with potatoes, but also it has rained and rained and rained and rained. So I was very hesitant about putting potatoes in. So I'm doing this experiment today, but I wanted to show you this. A lot of people, they cut their potatoes, right, and they let them sit overnight. Now you can do this and it kind of hardens up the outside, but the ones that I was successful with the first year, I didn't do that. I just cut them during the day. I didn't let them sit overnight. I stuck them in the ground. So these are pretty hefty root systems. These are the ones we're going to put in our little test pots. I have one golden, one russet, and one red, and I'm going to just put them in the container, and these are massive root sections. And then I'm going to put some more in the ground now, even though it's June. I'm going to take some of the ones that I have these really good root systems on and plant them in my garden, see what happens, see if we get some potatoes. If nothing else, maybe we'll get some seed potatoes for next year and we can do a little bit better if the season is better. So here we go. Look at that. Isn't that crazy? If that doesn't grow something, there's something seriously wrong. I'm putting them down just a little bit, and I'm going to cover them up. Do the same here, except I'm going to put this on the ground. So these have peat moss, regular dirt, potting mix, and 3 tablespoons of that garden zone stuff, and we're looking for 2 plants in each one. They do it in the UK in bags. I could do this. I'm hoping this experiment really works, honestly. Am I covering it? Oh, I might be covering the video. Whoops. Okay, let's try that. Making a mess on my porch. Have to clean that up. Then I'm going to get my little watering can and water them down real good. And I may have to move these out of the full sun every once in a while, because it is full sun on this back porch. Might be a little too much for them. Might get hot. And really, potatoes are a root vegetable, so they like it to be a little bit cooler, but Guess I better get a marker and mark these, huh? Yellow, red, and russet. So we have an Amish paste, yellow, or golden. It's not yellow, it's a golden potato. These are all organic. So golden, red, and russet. Like, oh gosh, I hate it when I can't remember the names of, I just plant everything. I don't even remember the name of it. But it's a russet type. Kennebec. There we go. Kennebec white. So that's a Kennebec red and the golden. We got most of the berries picked before the storm hit us that we didn't get picked yesterday that were ready. So we will be making lots and lots of spread and of course the tea. And we had talked about making berry lemonade, which just sounds fabulous. So we're going to do that too. This is 4th day. I'm not real super thrilled with the way this tomato looks, but we have gotten a lot of rain and that's pretty solid. I might have to break that up a little bit for that tomato plant. This is the, can't remember if it's a yellow or golden. I need to write it on the outside of the containers, but this is the yellow potato and it's just barely got a little baby thing coming up. This is the red potato. So you think we're gonna get some potatoes out of that? And this is the Kennebec. So the red and the Kennebec are definitely going a little faster. I'm not sure, because they all had the same kind of root systems, but this was an organic that I bought from the store. This I grew myself last year, and this I grew myself last year. So these were from my garden, and this was from a store organic bag. So that's an interesting experiment in itself. So that's where we are right now. We're going to continue to watch this. I'm telling you, this is a way for anyone to grow something on their back porch that's very cheap, that's very inexpensive, and you can use something that you've already purchased or used in your house. So I recommend anybody pick a plant. Pick a plant, pick a vegetable, get a pepper, you know, anything. Grow it on your back porch. Grow spices. Harvest them at the end of the year and dry them in your oven. But this is experiment number 1 that I have going, is using my Tidy Cat plastic containers as growing pots instead of having to buy them. So we'll see how this goes along and how many potatoes we get at the end of the season. So this is the first entry, I guess, in the grow your own stuff on your back porch experiment. At least potatoes and tomato, right? Just a lot of water on this bad boy. I really don't like that. Yeah. So I'll close out this video by saying we'll see how this experiment goes. And I'm still working on other videos, so we'll try to get at least 1 up a day, if not 1 or 2. And one thing, when I first started this channel, one of the things I said was, if you were planning on becoming a homesteader, you had to change your psyche. You know, you have to start thinking about it being different, you know, what tools you need, and just do little things at home, you know, at first. You know, you can't just jump into this and expect it to be perfect. It's never going to be. But if you get used to drying your own herbs, if you get used to canning, even if you just can a couple of things, or, you know, one of the things I'm going to show you is how to take dry beans, and I'll do that. I have some of that already done, so we'll get that video up pretty soon. How to use dry beans in small space and vacuum seal them so you're not buying cans, or you're not cooking and canning it because you don't have the space, which I don't have. So anyway, we'll close out this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you come back tomorrow for another one. See ya. Have a fabulous day.